Okay, this is the third and final video for day one of Unit 4 in geometry. And in it, I'm just going to work a few examples of how to calculate the area and perimeter of any given quadrilateral or triangle, because that's as far as we've gotten. Okay, so first example, obviously we have a parallelogram, so we need the area of a parallelogram is equal to base times height. But let's not forget we're also looking for perimeter. Okay, so area and perimeter. And perimeter we know is just going to be 12 plus b plus, this is also going to be 12 plus b again here. Okay, so that said, um, we can easily find out what the length of b is just by using the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, I can say leg squared plus the unknown leg squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared, right? And simple algebra is going to get us to b is equal to the square root of 24 squared minus 12 squared. We can just chuck that in the calculator. So square root of 24 squared minus 12 squared. And that gets us about 20.78. So b is about 20.78. Oh, we're in feet. Feet says right there. Okay. So now I have all the information I need, right? So the perimeter is going to be equal to uh, 2 times 12 plus 2 times the 20.78. And let's see what we get. So 2 times 12, I already know that's 48. So 48 plus 2 times, and I'm going to copy and paste my exact number here. So our perimeter is 89.57 feet. Right? And our area is going to be equal to base times height. So that is simply going to be the 20.78 times the height of 12. Right? Throw that in the calculator as well. So I'm going to copy and paste again times my height of 12. And we get 249.42. 249.42. And that is in square feet now. And yes, I am going to be a little bit particular about units. Okay, when we're doing area, we're in square units. When we're doing perimeter, obviously we're in regular linear units. Okay, so here's another example. Okay, so this one's a little bit different just because we have um, different units, right? We see that we have inches and we see that we also have yards. Okay, so I'm going to convert these inches into yards. So first I'm going to convert into feet, then I'm going to convert into yards. So converting inches to feet, well, I'm just going to divide by 12. Okay, so 360 divided by 12, that is going to simply be 30. Okay, and then we're going to divide that by 3 to get yards. Okay, so we know now from here to here is 10 yards. Okay, and this is a parallelogram, obviously. So the area of a parallelogram, we can already calculate that, is base times height. So 10 is the base times our height, which is 5, and we get 50 square yards. Okay, so I know one question you're probably going to have for me is how do we know which units to use? I'm pretty much going to always specify in the instructions, even though I didn't specify here. I'm pretty much going to always specify in the instructions, give it to me in yards, inches, whatever. Or I just probably won't even mess with unit conversions, really. This is just kind of an FYI. Okay. All right. So moving on. So we still need the perimeter, right? Okay. So to get the perimeter, well, we need to know this side length and this side length, right? And we know they're going to be equal because they're parallelograms, right? So we know this is 10. We know this is 5 and so on, right? So we're going to have to use a strategy similar to what we had to do earlier and treat this as a composite figure. So we know the height of this triangle here, right, is 5, right? And we don't know this, but we do know, because it's a parallelogram, opposite angles are congruent. So we know this guy is pi over 3. Okay? So long story short, if I do the trig here, I'm going to get 5 square root of 3 over 3, right? And actually, I don't even need that side. What's the matter with me? We don't need that side. You know why we don't need that side? Because we're doing perimeter, fool. We only need this and this. So I need the hypotenuse. Okay, so what I'm going to do for that instead, and it's going to end up being something similar. So this is going to end up being 10 square root of 3 over 3. Okay, so all we would have to do there is just do sine. We would just say sine pi over 3, which of course I know the sine of pi over 3 is the square root of 3 over 2, is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So 5 over, we'll just say this is x, right? So 5 over x. And we cross multiply, we rationalize the denominator, we get 10 square root of 3 over 3, which is approximately 10 square root of 3. Will it let me do that? Yes. About 5.77. Okay, so that is about 5.77. So all I need to do to get my perimeter is there's going to be 2 of the 5.77s plus 2 of the 10 yards, right? And we can chuck that in the calculator right now. 2 times 10 is 20. So 20 plus 2 times, copy and paste that guy, and there we have it. Our perimeter would be about 31.55, 1.55 yards. And there you go. We now have the area and the perimeter. Okay, one last example and we'll close out this video. We have a triangle here, right? And right off the bat, well, we know two things. Well, duh. First, we know the area of a triangle is base times height all divided by 2. The second thing that we should notice is this angle and this angle are the same. That means this is isosceles. This triangle is isos, right? So that kind of is super helpful, because if it's isosceles and this side length here is 80, well, this side length also will be 80 feet, right? And what's more, that helps us with the perimeter, right? Now we know one of the sides that was missing, but we still don't know the base, right? And that's kind of annoying. But because it's isosceles, we know that this right here is the midpoint. This point right here must be the midpoint, because this height is an altitude and it's cutting it in half. We have a right triangle. We can do trig. Okay, so this guy's, what is it? 7 pi over 18, 80. We're looking for this x here, right? And I'll go ahead and change colors on us here. Okay, so to find that is quite simple. We're just going to use cosine. When we do the trig and set it up, it's just going to end up being 80 times the cosine of 7 pi over 18 is going to be equal to x. Okay, 7 pi over 18 is not a special angle. So anyway, so am I in radians mode? So 80 times the cosine of 7, where is the pi button? Pi over 18. Okay, so x is about 27.3616. So that's the distance from here to here. We don't care about that because that doesn't help us with area nor perimeter. We care about this. And we just said earlier, right here is the midpoint. So if I just multiply this guy by 2, which is why it says that here, if I just multiply that by 2, then I'll know what this is. So let's go ahead and do that. So times 2, and we get 54.72, and that is in feet, right? So now we have everything we need. Okay, so area is going to be base, so 54.72 times the height. Oh, crud, we don't know the height. Okay, so then we can go ahead and just say, I had a brain fart on that. I don't know why I thought we knew it. So this is going to be our height. And this is going to just be equal to 80 times the sine of 7 pi over 18. Let's throw that in the calculator real fast. So 80 times the sine, oops, of 7 pi over 18. Okay, and we get 75.17. And that also is in feet. Okay, now that we have that, okay, and then all of that will be divided by 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So that times our 54 point whatever nonsense, all of that divided by 2, we get 2056.92. And that, of course, is in square feet. And that is our area. Okay, and now we just need the perimeter. Well, the perimeter is going to be equal to 80 plus 80. So I'm just going to say 2 times 80 for a shortcut, plus the length of our base right here, which was 54.72. Okay, so 2 times 80, I know that's 160, plus the 54.72. Go up here and find it, copy and paste. 214.72. And that would not be in feet squared, that would just be in regular linear feet. Okay, so that does it for this video. Just a few examples to hold you over on how to calculate area of some parallelograms and triangles. If you need any help with anything like this, obviously you know where to find me. Goodbye.